Hey everybody, it's Kellen Brauer from RacerX, back again with another race examination video from Arlington 3. It's been a long time since we raced, so we're going to recap a little bit what happened back then leading into Atlanta this weekend. And I'm going to start off by talking about how Cooper Webb lined up right next to Ken Roczen in the main event, just to his outside obviously. But you can see here Webb had 10th gate pick after Chase Sexton put him down in his heat race, and he ended up 5th in his heat race. And apparently it was because this rut outside of Webb's gate was just terrible, so nobody wanted to select it. So Webb took it, and you'll see here he does get bogged down right out of the start, but very, very smart racecraft here. He gets right behind Roczen and just drives a little deeper into the corner so it frees and nobody on his inside gets up there inside of him, and then hugs the inside of the corner. And look at this. I mean, he damn near got the whole shot coming out of this corner and is going to funnel in behind Roczen into second place. But just generally speaking, smart racecraft by Webb there to tuck in behind Roczen into the first corner. Now, this race was a great battle between not only Roczen and Webb, but Tomac and Barcia were right there for much of the race until Tomac made this late race mistake, jumped onto a tough block after the finish line jump, and then he and Barcia kind of engaged in this titanic battle between the two of them for the next 4 or 5 laps, where Barcia's going to stuff Tomac to the outside of the corner there. Tomac's going to get him back a couple laps later after the finish line jump, but Barcia's just going to swing way out here and cut back up the inside to get a drive up the inside of Tomac, nudge him out there to the tough blocks again to make the pass back in the same exact spot. But then Barcia was not able to triple off the table here on this lap, so Tomac just triples up the inside of him to finally make that pass stick, and that's where he would stay. But those two lost too much ground to stay right with that Webb and Roczen battle, which reached its height with about 5 minutes left in the main event as Webb, he got pushed out by Roczen in the first corner, but then Webb going to try to slide up the inside here in this second corner. Roczen thought maybe Webb was going to be a little bit closer by the looks of it, so he swings out to the top of the berm and allows Webb to get a drive alongside. So now they're bar to bar. Roczen's going to try to control it to the inside of this next corner, but also the whoops are coming up, so he's got to get to a higher gear and get a drive for the whoops. So he decides to go to the top of the berm to square off and get a better drive for the whoops. Webb reads that and drives back up underneath. So at the moment, Webb has got the advantage, but he's losing ground. Roczen's trying to blitz the whoops alongside of him, but Webb starts hopping and opens just a bit of a gap, enough so that he can close the gap from the outside and make that pass stick on Kenny for the lead, which he would take off and take the win with. Roczen was not very good in this sand section either late in the race, and that was ultimately a very time-costing move for Roczen. But Webb takes his 6th win of the season and now extends it to a 15-point lead in the championship with these 5 rounds left to go, the 3 at Atlanta and the 2 at Salt Lake City. I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 400,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Download the OnX Off-Road app today. Now, the 250 main event basically boiled down to Justin Cooper finally getting a start in the main event. He was really struggling with his starts off the gate in both the heat races and the main events through much of the last couple rounds before this one, but he got off the gate well in this one. Double quad triple into the first rhythm and then triples into the second rhythm to open up a gap right away on Cody Schock and the rest of the field there. And that pretty much established himself enough of a gap to manage pretty much from there as Cameron McAdoo moved into second and eventually just lost too much time on him. But there's Garrett Marchbanks crashing out of 4th early on in the race. He slid the rear end out and went off the side of the track. He was able to remount in 7th, but obviously lost a lot of valuable championship points. But maybe the moment of the race was late when Hunter Lawrence tripled deep into this corner, went flying off into the Steve Mathis Memorial nets, just kind of landed on the pole and then slid down it and was able to remount his bike. Fortunately, he didn't get injured in this at all, and the bike did get a little bit bent up, but he was still able to come home in 5th and salvage a lot of championship points. But this was basically just him OJing, landing in the berm, and then leaning back and obviously grabbing a handful. We've all done it before. It's not the first time that we've seen it happen. And fortunately for Lawrence, he was able to kind of land on the padded area of that pole there as he still kind of hit pretty hard, but it looks like he just kind of took a little bit of a ding against the chest and was able to slide down it, pick himself back up, and continue on his way. And remounting and finishing up in 5th kept him within just 6 points of Justin Cooper, who was able to continue on and win the main event out front. So with Cooper picking up the win here, obviously that was huge for him. He regains the championship lead now by just 2 over Cameron McAdoo, and as mentioned, 6 over Hunter Lawrence, as just 6 points separate these guys coming into these last few rounds and this triple header at Atlanta Motor Speedway as we get ready to go racing again this Saturday.